Say, what do you know? Welcome up bright and early. We're shooting a morning episode. I know, shocking. Me getting my day started when the sun isn't at noon. Shocking, but let's get the morning started. Let's have a nice cup of iced black coffee. Yeah, I'm a lunatic, but gotta drink that iced black coffee. Get the engine going. So this is episode 21. We are thriving. We are growing. We are doing what we need to do. So gonna go over some week NFL stuff. We got a big game tonight, New England and Pittsburgh. A battle of who cares, as you'd say. You got Zappy and backup quarterback for the Steelers. I have no idea who that is. We got fantasy playoffs coming up. I'm in 2 at the moment, so let's keep it going. So give you some playoff updates, some MVP conversations, and we'll kind of go from there. So last Thursday, the Cowboys survived a fantastic Thursday night thriller. It's the first one that wasn't horrible to watch. I mean, you had a good game. I was shocked. Geno had 3 touchdowns. Dak had 3 touchdowns. It was an overall great game. Continue their dominance at home, the Cowboys do. Looking good at home. Play again at home this week against Philly. Big battle. So we'll see what happens with those 2 teams. But Dallas looks good at home. So if Dallas gets a first-round bye and plays their games at home, they look unbeatable. 19 penalties for a combined 257 yards. So it was a very, very big game with penalties. That was the only negative about the Thursday night game, a lot of penalties. Other than that, it was a great game to watch. It was finally a good game. Like a Thursday night football game actually hit the over. So Seattle's offense looked improved. Seattle, if they get in the playoffs, they wouldn't be a bad team. Charbonnet. Shout out Charbonnet. He tweaked his ankle, but I think he'd be a good fit for Kenneth Walker injury. So definitely like that. Rams dominated the Browns 36-19. Cleveland, a lot of questions. Joe Flacco was good. First drive, we're like, oh, Joe Flacco. And then I was like, oh, Joe Flacco. Get him out. Go. Defense seemed vulnerable. I think there's something going on. There's some kind of ailment with Myles Garrett. He doesn't look norm, so that kind of looks like he's struggling, not 100%. Shoulder, this arm for sure. Stafford had 3 touchdowns. Puka couldn't be touched. He had 4 receptions for 105 yards and a touchdown. Absolutely just playing flag football out there, just running a slant and just being gone. Quarterback questions for the Browns. Do we stay with Flacco? He went to the practice squad. Now he's back. We don't know really what we're doing. Rams seem to be putting together some offense. They look like they've finally got the ball rolling. Nothing to roll the red carpet out, but we'll kind of see what goes from there. We're going to talk about a good one, huh? Chargers win a thriller, 6-0 against New England. Whoever watched that game on CBS, I hope you're doing all right, because what a sleeper, what a snooze fest, 6-0. I know the weather was cruddy, but cheese and rice, good Lord have mercy. 6-0, 6-0, 2 field goals. Zappy and the Chargers I'm just grateful the Chargers defense didn't give up 16 points to New England or however many points, and their head coach doesn't have to answer questions about defense. I guess he'll keep calling them. I guess he'll keep calling the defensive plays if you give up 0 to Blake Zappe. That's really all I have for that. Eckler had 18 yards. What? Herbert, 212 yards. Zappe couldn't even get started. Not really sure why the Chargers offense isn't there. Why Keenan Allen and Eckler can't score at least a touchdown combined the 2, and Herbert can't score a touchdown. So scratching our heads here at the Bubcast facility about the Chargers. So not really sure what to think, what to do. Is it rebound? Is it rebuild time in New England? Is Mac Jones gone? Or is it a Zach Wilson thing where they're going to play and bench him? And I know Zach Wilson's not going to be part of the Jets once Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers comes back. But what's New England going to do? Is it Mac Jones? Is it not Mac Jones? Does Mac Jones need offense? Does Mac Jones need a running game? It's really hard to base on how cruddy that team is overall that it's all Mac Jones. So, but if New England keeps losing, I would have to say they'd get a quarterback with a top 5 pick and tell Mac Jones to pack his bag. Cardinals beat Pittsburgh 24-10. Game was delayed heavily. That game was delayed like it had 2 halftimes. So Connor had 2 touchdowns. Murray struggled but didn't throw a pick, so he did just enough. He game managed. He did well. Pickett got injured. Trubisky came in, threw a touchdown. Trubisky looked good. Trubisky came in and did a lot, did well. Arizona was 3-3 in the red zone, so their red zone opportunities really helped them get that game going. So kudos to them. Trubinsky looked good. Let's see what he could do. See if he can keep rolling for Pittsburgh. See what they can do because they're trying to get in the playoffs. So outside looking in at the moment, I do believe they might be in. We'll go over playoffs here in a minute. Colts win a thriller in OT against Tennessee. What a game. What an offensive game. Minshew threw 2 touchdowns, 312 yards. Indy has no run game. Zach Jones, no run game. Indy's very plain, vanilla. In the air, they're great. Wide receivers are great. Great is a strong word. Not bad. Get the jobs done. Levis was a game manager. Didn't do anything dumb. Handed the ball to Henry. He had 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards. Indy had a block punt, which was huge against Tennessee. But Tennessee, they're a lot of questions. Hot seat coach. Is Henry going to be around? Is Henry too much worth the money? Is he washed? So a lot of questions. Levis, is he the answer? I would hope they figure that out sooner rather than later, because at the moment it doesn't look like it. But again, washed up. Washed is such a wrong word, but Derrick Henry doing Derrick Henry things, being as old as he is, kind of see what's going on. My MVP team, Texans beat the Broncos 22-17. CJ Stroud, my MVP. You heard it here, folks. They can't give it to a rookie. They can and they should. He has turned that organization around from a laughingstock to what they are now, and they're potentially able to get in the playoffs. So kudos to them. Stroud, 274 yards and a touchdown. He threw to his boy Nico Collins, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 21 yards a catch. Wilson had 3 interceptions. Wilson either has 0 or a zillion. So Wilson, he's either yay or nay, and he was definitely nay. He threw one with 9 seconds left in the end zone, which, it was just a ball to be thrown up. His interceptions are bad where it's not like it's a tip and he can't really be to blame. They're getting thrown right to the guy. So when Russell Wilson turns the ball over, Denver seems to lose. This is our first loss since mid-October, so Denver, I think, still, it's a hiccup, but I still think, I'm not completely sold on they're going to fall apart, but I think it's a little hiccup, but they'll get their, they'll get where they need to get going. Lions hang on to beat the Saints 33-28. Detroit went up 21-0 early. Laporta had 140 yards and a touchdown. He's killing it with that team. That's Jared Goff's go-to. Carr struggled, was booed. Kamara had 2 rushing touchdowns. New Orleans can still win the division because that NFC South is absolutely trash. So one of those teams is going to host a playoff game. Maybe Baker Mayfield. Maybe Baker Mayfield can host a game for the Bucs. So we'll see. But yeah, the Lions almost blew that game. If New Orleans had any idea on how to play football offensively, they might have lost that game. Falcons beat the struggling Jets 13-8. Rainy, high penalty, no offense game. Ritter did just enough. A lot of questions around him. Is he the answer? Is he not the answer? What is Atlanta going to do? Bijan's not explosive what they thought. You got a lot of offensive guys on that team that aren't doing productivity as which they thought they were going to do. Jets got a safety. Total, both teams had a 6 for 29 third down conversions. Jets had 3 turnovers, and Jets continue to struggle. Zach Wilson's the quarterback. Timmy Doyle is the quarterback. I know Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be coming back. No, he's not. Why would he come back? They're virtually working their way out of the playoffs. Why come back for a couple games? And if he's playing the Browns on Christmas Eve on Thursday night, Myles Garrett's going to make it living heck for him. So, but Jets just it's getting tired of talking about. Can we just put the Jets to bed and bring them back next off season when Rodgers is back and healthy? Because at the moment, it's tough to talk about. It's tough to watch. Zach Wilson, yay. Tim Boyle, yay. So it's kind of like, what are we doing? How are we doing it? That type of thing. Dolphins dominate the Redskins. I think the Redskins are also in trouble. I think Rivera's on the hot seat. I think they have a lot of questions. Quarterback, defensive coordinator. They got a lot. I'm not sure what's going on there, but let's see if they can get an offensive weapon in there for Howell to do well. Is Howell the answer? Miami's offense thrived. They thrived against a crappy team, so let's see if Miami can keep it up. Because when they play good teams, they don't look nearly as good. Tua had 2 touchdowns. Akane had 2 touchdowns. Hill had 157, 2 touchdowns. So 100, 400, almost 400 yards for Miami as a team. So let's see if Miami can keep it up. I don't think they will. I think they potentially lose their first playoff game. Bucks beat the playoff eliminated Panthers. They are the first team in the NFL to be eliminated from the playoffs. 21-18. Congratulations, Mike Evans, my fantasy guy, topped over 1,000 yards for the 10th straight year. Instant Hall of Famer, no questions asked. Bucks pay the man, but I don't think they're gonna. I think he's gonna move on and be helpful to any other team in the NFL. So it was nice to see him in a Bucks jersey. Nice to see him do 10 consecutive years of 1,000 yards. Mayfield did just enough. Didn't do anything Mayfield stupid-esque. Evans had 162 yards and a touchdown. White got to see him to get the ball rolling with White on the rushing, so that was nice. Young struggled. Hubbard carried the load, 2 touchdowns, 3 for 15 on third down, Carolina. And they have no pop on offense. A lot of questions. Bryce Young, the whole Bryce Young thing, you can't hate on the guy. Who's he throwing the ball to? Me out there? Come on now. You're like, oh, he's trash. Well, I mean, look at that team. So let's see if they can get a top 1 pick being number 1 wide receiver, some offensive weapon. 49ers dominated the Eagles in Philly. Philly continued to be train wreck fans and make the 49ers visit awful. Video of just beer cans getting pelted. Keep being classy, Philly. Way to go, Philly. I'm glad you all got slapped. Purdy had 4 touchdowns, pretty much throwing flag football routes, throw a route, and they get 900 yards after the catch. So CMC had 140 yards and a touchdown, 456 yards of total offense, 4-4 in the red zone. San Francisco looked productive, but again, they throw that 2-yard slant, and it's a 110-yard touchdown. So, and I know I added 10 yards to that. I know a football field's only 100, but that's what San Francisco's offense looked like, just straight flag football. Philly had no rushing game. Hurts had a touchdown. Brown, Smith, each almost had 100 yards. One had 96. One had 114. So, Philly, you got some stuff to figure out. I'm not worried. San Francisco has one of these games every once in a while. Andre has 3 fantasy guys from San Francisco on his team, and he didn't make the playoffs. So you can tell how San Francisco offense isn't always producing these numbers. So San Francisco, let's not get cuckoo. Packers beat KC on a Sunday Night Football showdown. Love played great. Can we get a Love played great? Running game was enough. Aaron Jones, my guy, running the ball. Mahomes struggled, but it was still Mahomes. It wasn't like he wasn't like horrible. He's got no wide receivers. Heck, I could lace him up. I had 0 minutes in high school, but let me lace him up and catch a few balls. Sky Moore's got cement for hands, but I can catch a ball. Pacheco ran all over Green Bay. That was the only reason I kept him in the game. Crazy penalties, crazy no calls, crazy non calls. It was just craziness. Green Bay held the defense on a last minute drive. Gave Kansas City like 50 seconds to score a touchdown with Patrick Mahomes. Like, well, this is over. But overall, great game by Green Bay, all around. Special teams, defense, offense, coaching, great game. And it was great to watch. I finally got to sit down and watch that game. It was great. So I'm looking forward to the Packers getting in the playoffs. I like what they got, like what they're doing. Go Pack, go. Bengals upset Jacksonville 34-31 in the Monday Night Thriller. Lawrence injures ankle. Can we get a golf cart? For those who don't know, Bubcast is in Florida. There's golf carts everywhere. Why was he walking? Why was he walking from field to locker room? That's a head scratcher. But I forget his coach wears a visor and his hair's a mess. And then people in Jacksonville just can't think. Sorry, people in Jacksonville, but you're letting your star quarterback walk on a high ankle sprain. Sounds like a great idea. Fearson hit a game-winning field goal. Browning played a great game manager. He had 354 yards and a touchdown. Mixon had 2 touchdowns. Chase had 149 and a touchdown. So Cincinnati's offensive weapons still thrived with a backup quarterback. Looked good. Lawrence had 2 touchdowns and a rush, 2 passing and 1 rushing before the injury. Looked good. For the injury, Bengals, if you got their offensive guys in fantasy, play them because they look good. They seem to still get their touches and still look good. So I'm going to post a playoff update on Twitter, but right now we've got playoff updates. We got the AFC and the NFC. So the AFC 1 through 7, we've got Miami, Baltimore, KC, and Jacksonville's our division winners. Miami's at 9-3 at 1. Baltimore's 9-3 at 2. KC is 3 at 8-4. Jacksonville's 4 at 8-4. Pittsburgh is in the playoffs at 7-5 at the moment. and 6, Cleveland at 7-5, and Indy at 7-5. So AFC's crazy. AFC's gonna get, you got 9-3, 8-4, 7-5. It's getting crazy in the AFC. AFC's gonna be nice. NFC, Philly's 10-2, San Francisco's 9-3, number 3 Detroit 9-3, number 4 Atlanta 6-6. Oh, good lord, one of those teams is gonna host a playoff game and get waxed. Number 5 Dallas at 9-3, number 6 Minnesota 6-6, and number 7 Green Bay at 6-6. NFC's gonna be a little more enjoyable to see who gets in. AFC, you're kind of just having those same guys switcheroo because all the records are so close and they're all division foes. So that's the playoffs at the moment. I know we got some games to go down, but that's kind of at the moment. If your team's in, hold your breath. If you're not, keep working at it. Week 14, we got some great games. We got Jaguars at the Browns, AFC playoff picture game. Looking forward to that. Hopefully, Browns can get healthy. Jackson can get healthy. At the moment, I'm not sure if Lawrence is playing. Bucks at Falcons, big division game. Who's going to host that? Cheeks Bunch Trash, playoff home game. Colts at Bengals, playoff position game. Seattle at Niners, a nice rivalry division battle. Bills at Chiefs, playoff implications, battle for the game. Let's see what the Bills can do after that crazy game they last had. They're off a bye, so let's see what they can do. And Eagles at Cowboys, Sunday night game. Are the Cowboys for real? Is Philly vulnerable? Great games lined up. We're going to go through the predictions right here on the board. So I got Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Indy, Houston, Rams, Detroit, New Orleans, Minnesota, San Francisco, Buffalo, Dallas, Chargers, Green Bay, and Miami. You can pause the video and zoom in on that. That's my predictions for the board. I got the teams with the spread. So let me know what you think. That's my predictions for this upcoming week. We'll give a quick 30-second preview of the Thursday Night Football because it's 2-10 New England at 7-5 Pitt. Pittsburgh is -6. Hammer Pittsburgh. And hammer the under. New England can't score. New England couldn't score if it was right in front of them. Any offense production from Zappy. Ezekiel Elliott is going to take over the main rushing role because Robinson is out. Trubinsky, I think he looked pretty good. I think he'll do well. I expect a couple touchdowns out of him, maybe 250 yards. Feed Harris, give him the ball, let him go to work. I expect over 100 yards for him and a touchdown. I think Pittsburgh's offense gets going against New England. I think it's a big offensive day for New England. I'll take New England at like 27-9, 27-6. I think New England doesn't score an offensive touchdown. If they do, it's 1 plus a field goal. So I'm hammering Pittsburgh at -6. I'm hammering the under. Anytime touchdown from Harris, and an anytime touchdown for Ezekiel Elliott. So that's episode 21. A little bit of NFL for you. Appreciate the energy. I'm a little caffeinated, as you would say this morning, because we thriving and we grinding and we thriving. So what do you say? What do you know? Looking forward to potentially an episode tomorrow with some guest speakers. We're still ironing out the details, but for now, just go ahead and give this a like, smash the subscribe button, and y'all have a great rest of your day.